Welcome to What She Said podcast, the home for real conversations with men about sex, love, and relationships. Welcome to another episode of What She Said. We have a couple topics. We're doing it a little bit different tonight because guess what? We have added a new real cute little host to the show. Y'all done seen him a couple times. So I'm going to start with our new co-host of What She Said, the one and only Josh Powell. How are you, fam?
What's happening, Queen? Very humbled to be able to share this platform with you all. Very, very humbled.
Well, you've had such good insight and information and whatnot. I was like, well, why not have him on all the time? So thank you so much for joining the team. Say what's up to my mom. Hey, mama.
Hey, y'all. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait to talk tonight.
Yeah, there's a couple good things going on. So let's get right into the topic. First, we're going to start with Monique made a comment about how women were dressed in the airport. So let me show you this clip real quick so you could chime in and know exactly what we're talking about.
And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home?
All right, Mom, I'm going to start with you because you were the one that found it and you pointed it out. I know how I feel about it in my personal stories, but you tell me, how do you feel? Like, one, how do you feel about her actually speaking it? And two, we all see Black women walking around everywhere with bonnets and furry slippers and whatnot. What's your take?
First of all, I think, Monique has an opinion like other people have an opinion. So she has a right to speak on it. I'm troubled, honestly. I think we've lost our way. I don't understand why you're out in public in pajamas and slippers and hair bonnets. I don't. And trust, I've been in a rush. I've traveled plenty of times. And even if I just don't feel like it, I know how to throw on a baseball cap and some sweats that kind of match, or some yoga pants and a nice top, something. It's something easy to still look presentable. I don't understand the pajamas and slippers and hair bonnets in public thing.
Josh, what's your take? You're from a man's perspective, seeing your sisters out with bonnets and blankets around them and pajamas on.
I mean, I agree. I think that, it's just about representing yourself and being proud of, who you are and what you come from. And I know that, as a father, for example, I would definitely feel a way if I seen my daughters, dressed inappropriately for me, especially like when these are things that you're wearing to bed, things that you're wearing in the comfort of your home. Because it's funny, I've been traveling and doing some things for work and whatever. And I had just went on a flight a couple of weeks ago. And everybody, I thought it was something going on because I was like, why is all these people with bonnet? Like, what is going on right now? You know what I mean? And the clothes, like no bras, no panties. They just, they look like literally like straight out the bed, just like bumping, like that's the move. And, I just think we should represent ourselves better. I totally agree with Mom. I totally agree with Auntie when she spoke on it. I saw the clip. And I thought that what she said was beautifully put. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to be able to do, better than what we're doing for sure.
So let me be the non-politically correct one and get straight to the bread and butter of it all. Period, point blank, is ghetto. We don't like people looking at us a certain way. We want to be, Black women need to be held to a certain standard, and Black women and Black magic and Black intelligence, that has to transcend in all the things that we do. And I'm not saying you need to come in with a business suit like they required in the 80s to sit on a plane, or you should look like you got $1 million in the bank. But God damn it, look like you got some sense. And for those that are out there that think that that's cute, I was in Miami or Florida airport maybe a week or two ago. And this chick had on a bralette. Like, it was a gang of Black people from Detroit that was flying out of Fort Lauderdale back. They had the bonnets on, they had the hair wraps on. But this one chick had a Victoria's Secret bralette on. She had like a hoodie wrapped around her waist, and her nipples was showing and everything. And I'm just standing there like, this is really what we're doing? This is what we're doing. Like, for all the work that Black women are doing to improve ourselves, to uplift ourselves, y'all stand up here in a group. This is not one or two people with looking like you could care less, looking like you might be homeless. And then there's the thing where people get offended and like, oh my God, you're stereotyping me. I'm educated, or I'm whatever. You can't be. You can't be not looking like that, not representing yourself like that. So that's a perception that you are putting out there, that women are putting out there by dressing like that. Your slippers should not have fur on them unless it's on the inside and it's an Ugg boot. Other than that, you shouldn't have no slippers on walking around. And there's places that you can't even get into in the airport with Ugg boots on because they require a certain standard. It's a visual look of saying, I'm carrying myself as a woman a certain way. And I had a friend that was flying in from LA a couple of days ago, and he was like, this chick is in here with yoga pants, but they were so tight and sheer. He was like, you could see the front of her vagina. You could see her booty crack. He was like, and why are you getting on a plane like that knowing it's going to be cold? So the question goes to, what are we representing? Like, we already, people, in the legal industry, legal field, it's like Black women are the least protected. But we are, look at how we're carrying ourselves. Like, what are we saying? What do I say when I step out the house with no bra, my nipples showing, half naked, a bonnet on my head? Am I saying, respect me as a woman, respect me as an educated human being, respect me as whatever, as a mom, as an aunt? What am I saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's bigger than, oh, I could dress how I want, I bought a plane ticket. It's bigger than that. So I think Monique said it extremely politically correct. She said it extremely nice. And for her to be being attacked in the media is crazy to me, because what she said is 1,000% right. We out here representing ourselves like we retarded, ain't got no home training, period.
I want to piggyback on that because, Shanae, you and I were talking earlier today, and I mentioned, when early on, when I had you guys, the first couple of years, I was on food stamps. And I remember having to go stand in the food stamp line to get that little booklet. So I could buy
colored monies. You had them colored monies coming through.
I did. And what I noticed even back then as a young girl, because I was a teen parent, is that there were people in that line with their house shoes on and rollers in their head and pajamas on. And I would think even then, even though we are poor at this moment, we do not have to reflect that we're poor. And it just used to embarrass me so much to see us dressed like that. I mean, it's enough shame to be in the food stamp line. For me, it was anyway, knowing that I was struggling. But I'd always step out of the house trying to represent well. And again, I'm not suited and booted every time I step out of the house. I'll throw on a baseball cap in a minute. But I'm damn sure not coming out the house with rollers in my head and a bonnet on and going into the grocery store or to the airport or anywhere else looking like that. Because, yeah, it's a reflection of who we are. And we're always talking about, we hate people talking about us and we hate people judging us and we want respect. Well, when you present yourself to the world like that, what do you think you're going to get? I mean, it's wherever we lost our way in the 60s. When you look at all those pictures back in the day, even when they were protesting, they were in dresses and guys were in suits and hard shoes. And this was in the thick of summer and all of these other conditions. But people cared about how they looked, even when they're walking miles and miles. And here we are with all of these advances. And when we go out into the world, like, what? I don't know. Again, I think we've lost our way in some areas, even though we're making progress in so many other areas. I don't get that shit at all.
No, I said, I mean, it transcends though. It's not just that. I want people to understand this. I work in the court system doing mediations, and I was doing a mediation, and this couple came in smelling like they had just lit about 4 blunts in the car. Dude had tattoos all on his eyes, dreads in his hair, dirty as hell. The girl comes in with a crop top, low cut jeans, and they have all their information, right? All the information they need. They were actually in the right for contesting their eviction. And I'm like, okay, so the judge schedules a court date for them. And I pull them to the side and I said, listen, when you come back before this judge, I need you to dress like you got some sense. And she was like, oh, I thought this outfit was cute. And your stomach is showing. You're trying to prove to the judge if they can't listen to you because you smell like weed and because your belly is hanging out and because your butt crack is showing, and represent yourself how you want to be viewed, period, point blank, especially in certain environments like the airport, like the courtroom. Stop, unless you're Jay-Z. Yeah, Jay-Z can walk in with his pants sagging and a black t-shirt and his hat turned to the left. He already worth $1 billion. For the rest of us, we got to make it look like we got some sense. That's just
Jay-Z wearing seersucker, by the way. He ain't doing it.
Huh?
Right.
The Jay-Z wearing seersucker, by the way. He ain't doing it. Jay-Z got fresh linens on.
He got fresh linens on.
He wearing the blazers with no shirt underneath. That's how he feeling.
Hilarious.
Shit. But I just want to flip this thing too, right? So we talking about the women. It's no different than the kings out here with the tight pants sagging and doing all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to do better across the board. It ain't a judgment thing, but we got to definitely do better, carry ourselves the right way. All of that stuff matters, man.
I seen this one dude, somebody had filmed it. He was walking into a restaurant and his whole big old black ass was hanging out, the whole ass. Like, I mean, like no drawers, skinny jeans underneath the crack of his ass with his t-shirt barely hanging over. And then he gonna try to act like he gonna lift up his pants and not even pull it up midway over his booty crack. And I'm just like, well, and then the problem is we're the first people to complain about Black women not being respected in the eyes of the law. Like when that whole R. Kelly thing came out, Black women are dismissed. Our claims are dismissed. We're hypersexualized. We have to be able to control this a little bit better. And that means presenting ourselves as a whole different ways, because you are going to be viewed the way you represent yourself, period. And I'm not saying when you at the club, you can't dress a certain way, or when you know what I'm saying, you at home.
Right.
But when you handling business, you on a flight, you're in public like that, you at the grocery store, act like you got some goddamn sense, please.
Right. Do it for the culture. Do it for the culture.
Goddamn sense. GAH. Goddamn.
So Josh, you sent me a clip. Let's chit chat about that. The girl that believed that she should not have to give her child the last name of her child's father because they were not married. What bothered you the most about that?
It wasn't just that, because that last sentence also, she stated that even if she was married, she was like, I ain't got to do that. It's 2021. So, you know what I'm saying? For me, again, what somebody decides to do with the last name, I've seen it. I've had that in my family. That's not where I'm getting at. It's the idea. It's the fact that she literally feels like we don't matter in the sense of it. Because for one, she said, my child, right? So when a lot of women that talk like that, it bothers me, because it's like an ownership thing. You ain't got nothing to do with this. I'm just doing, like, it's a lot of women that really feel like, even with the father trying to be present, or he, you know what I'm saying, is trying to be a part of the kids' lives and all of that, they always say, my. And then they exclude the father. They exclude the responsibility. Like, all of that. It's the narrative. They'll tell the kids, you're here because of me. I take care of everything. Like, I know that. I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced it firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the situation, I just don't like that part of it. If you decide if y'all make a choice or whatever, then that is what it is. I'm just more focused on the my. That's the part that struck a chord with me. The my. You didn't make that child by yourself unless you went paid for it. You know what I'm saying? But she ain't talking from that place though. She was talking about if you have a situation, you're in a relationship, or you talking to somebody or whatever. That ain't it.
Mom.
That's fascinating because where I come from and the people in my circle, when you have a child, you're wanting to take the man's last name and give that baby the father's last name. And at the same time, you can't help but wonder if that woman who's saying, I don't have to do that, and it's my, did she want child support for the child? Is it yours and his when it's child support time? How does that work? But it's bizarre, and I don't know. And maybe that's a random fluke for that particular person that she just feels that way. But I don't know too many women who've had children that don't want to give the baby the father's last name. I don't get that one.
Okay, well let's flip it though. Like let's look at it from a different perspective, right? When I got married, that was one of the things I wanted. I wanted to get married so that all of my kids can have the same last name, right? When mom signs them out of school, Shanae Hall, Corey Hall, Leah Hall, blah, blah, blah. That was the idea. Now let's think about it in today's society. How many kids are being born out of wedlock? How many kids are walking around and the mom has 2 or 3 different baby daddies and they all got different last names? You know what I'm saying? So if you think about it from that perspective, if like what she said, that's my child, if we're not married, let's just start with the first line. If we're not married, then I could give my kid my last name. And if I would have not been married, I would have rather my kids had all the same last name. So again, for the way the aesthetics of it, it looks different when all of your kids have the same last name. From a school perspective, from, the way teachers view you. I mean, I've had teachers say, oh, okay, yeah, your son, Corey Hall, what's your last name? The same as my son. Oh, well, you have to ask. Okay, yeah, but okay, the same as my son. And their tone was always expecting my last name to be different than my children's last name. Mm-hmm. So from that perspective, I understand it. Now, I don't know if that's how she's saying it, but from that angle, I would rather these moms out here and their child have the same last name than to have James, Oliver, Hall. You know what I'm saying? And it just looks raggedy.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't impose our views on what,
tradition.
I mean,
it's tradition. It's not law.
What, that you take on the father's last name?
The child doesn't have to take on the father's last name. Matter of fact, it's changed to the point what Josh was talking about. Yeah, as of right now, if you're not married in Georgia, you don't have no rights. If I push out a baby today and me and you are not married and the child hasn't been legitimized or whatever the term is, the documents and all that other stuff have gone through the system, then you have no rights. You have no visitation rights. You have nothing. You essentially are nothing except the sperm donor.
But see, and that when is that talk right there, that's the issue. Because in this thing that I sent, let me read this. If we're not married, and she had her chest out, is my child, and I don't have to give my child that I carried for 9 months the last name of a man who ain't my husband. He's just the father, and there's no long ties to him. Then she says, even if we're married, I don't need to give my kids my husband's last name. It's 2021. And just to hear you on that, Queen, like, not saying that that's what you're saying, but somebody listening could take it as, well, men ain't shit. What we need y'all for? Because you got to remember, we're on the other end of a lot of this energy, right? We're on the other end of we don't have a good male figure to look at and follow on television, or somebody that, you know what I'm saying, that we can relate to, that speaks our language, that can, like, we don't have that. You know what I mean? We don't have that that entertainer. We don't really have that athlete, like, because everybody's so judgmental. Now, to be honest, LeBron, I mean, I can name people that have had a pretty solid, don't hear nothing bad about them type of like vibe, and that are good leaders, but they still shit on us. They still, like, LeBron ain't went to jail. He ain't got caught up in no scandal. He ain't done none of that. That man been with his old lady since high school, married. They've been rocking business. That man done started a whole charter school. He taking care of families. Like, the boy doing his thing. Mm-hmm. We have to agree with some things, but they still shit on him. They still went to that man's house and spray painted nigga on his fence. Like, that is the thing that us as men, we're screaming. Because Father's Day is coming up, right? Mm-hmm. I'm looking at these clips going on. And again, I'm going to use the LeBron thing for another example, because he has that show, Barbershop, whatever. And on that clip, he said, my kids, like my boys, it's like, for me, it's like whatever. Like, when I come home, I wish they were excited. Like, I wish that, you know, we could still vibe and kind of, you know, whatever. But he was like, man, it's just like whatever. It's just that, like, whatever. And a lot of dads get that type of energy. Like, we don't want to be just a whatever. We want to get some type of embrace, some type of excitement. Like, yo, that's my partner, whatever. Even when they get older. Primetime, I just seen another clip. He was on a podcast. Primetime said, he said, I almost committed suicide, or I tried to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. And the reason being was because they were trying to take my kids from me. And when they tried to do that, I lost my mind, because shit, they're the only ones who really love me and appreciate me for me, because everybody else that was around, they just around because I am who I am and I'm doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. This thing is deep. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So again, I respect, like, yeah, if something happens and somebody's not married, or it was a one night stand, or certain things or whatever, like, that doesn't mean that I can't be open to, like, you know, people giving people their last names or whatever. I get that. I'm not here to tell no woman nothing about that. Right. But from a traditional standpoint, from the fact that the men, we're leaders, we're the head, like, this is a certain way that this thing is supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? And we're just being brushed to the side like we're nobodies other than just sperm donors. Like you just said it, right? Me and you have a baby. Well, you ain't shit. You ain't got no rights, no nothing, no this, no that.
I didn't say you wasn't shit. I said, according to the law, you don't have no rights. I walk out the
right,
hospital,
and that's
no rights.
And that's a fact. But that is so crazy. And I know the process.
I didn't say nothing about men not being this or that. Let's just clarify. I simply stated the law, which is, as a mediator and a law student, that's what I should do. It's my part of the show. Okay.
but you also said something after that. But you know, it's cool. I'm just gonna do my part to be a little shit starter. But you did say some slick shit after that, and I was gonna leave that alone. But you said some slick shit.
Repeat it. What I say.
But at the end of the day, again, this is another thing, because that's proven point, right? We got to sit up here. We got to go through the court systems in order to be viewed as the father, to be recognized as the father. We laid up with you. We went through the whole 1-2. We could even be in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? But if we're not married, we're not viewed as the father. So
Josh, you understand why that happened though, right? Because it was to protect men, because women were having sex with multiple people. And then I might have sex with 3 people and not know who the baby is. And I'm like, well, shoot, Josh played in the league. I'm going to go ahead and tell him he is. And you like, okay, cool. I was with her. I believe you. And then we go through this process. They making you pay child support. All this other stuff happens. And then bam, the baby's 4 years old. Come to find out you're not the father.
That's on me then. That's my stupid ass fault. Because to be honest with you, when you're going through that process, first thing you need to do is.
But that's what I'm saying. People weren't swabbing. And the courts weren't mandating it. So now the court said, hey, if you're not married until proven otherwise, that's not that man baby. period. He didn't got no, and it's not, so it's a catch-22 because it hurts the dad if he wants rights and he wants to be involved. You got to go through the court system, but it also protects the dad that might not be the father.
We're not protected, Queen, because any woman can go and file child support. I got another partner of mine who almost did 2 years in prison behind the fact of not paying or caught up on some shit, not paying child support for a kid that ain't even his, and the courts know it's not his kid. It's a lot. It's a lot to this. It's actually not protecting us because anytime any woman can say, he the father, I'm going to file a paternity, not a paternity suit, but I could put him on child support. You feel me? If we don't go through the proper steps, then we're fucked.
But that's the whole point where if you're not on the birth certificate off the bat, because if you are, then you automatically, after written, no questions asked, child support first of the month, rent's due. So they try to curtail that somewhat. But I do hear what you're saying. Now, that's why there's still steps. I can't just go right now and say, hey, my son is Josh's son and get you for child support. It don't work like that. They're not going to say, oh, Josh, you need to start paying for little Corey. He's 17. You got 17 years of back pay. It doesn't work like that. They're going to make sure.
It doesn't. But let's say, for example, we living together. And some of these states are a little funny with that. So if we live together, right, then that could automatically turn me into the father figure and this, that, and the third. There are some different rules out there for different states.
There are different rules. But back to the original thing, I don't necessarily... I don't necessarily disagree with her position because everybody has to come from their point of view. And I see a lot of single Black mothers out here. And I would rather that child, because it does, believe it or not, I believe that it affects the child, how the family structure looks. So if you got 3 brothers, like my kids are all 2 years apart, and at one point in time, at least 2 was in the same school. If one last name was Rodriguez and one last name was Hernandez and one was Walker, they'd be like, oh, okay. So your mom, she that person. Now, if all of them had my last name, nobody would know. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would question it.
I don't think we're viewing it like that, though, Queen. But here's the other part of it. I didn't say that I didn't agree. It's the fact that how her chest was out like that while she's saying it is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. That's the problem I have. Listen, my dad has my grandmother's last name. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He doesn't have my grandfather's last name. So I'm speaking this thing from experience. Like, I get it. You feel me? But that was their choice. All right, cool. But when a woman, because again, these are a lot of the comments and the conversations that I know I've been a part of, that I've seen myself, the Instagram clips, the stuff on Twitter, the this, the that. I've even been on other platforms and listening to how women view men. That's the part that I have an issue with. It's like, we ain't shit and we don't matter. And the girl even went to say, furthermore, even if we are married, I'm still not doing it.
Yeah, she did.
So you don't forget that part too. Now she ended it off with like, fuck it.
Which, I mean, you got, again, I'm at this point in my life where I'm looking at people's level of trauma. So she might have been married and divorced already. You know, she might have gone through something that said, even if I get married, I'm not going to give up my kid the last name of him because he might not be here. So obviously there's a level of trauma that we got to take into account with that particular response, I think anyways.
Then don't lay up with him then. And then keep that same energy when you want me to split this, do that, show up here, show up there. Keep that same energy.
I agree with that statement. And I'm old school. I want the child to have the father's last name.
Yeah. I'm just saying. So do you think that there is, because we have me and my sister have our dad, and then you got remarried later on in life, and my sister and my brother that are younger than us, they have their last name. Do you think it affects... Do you think it would have been different if we were closer in age and you were picking us up and we had all different last names?
Well, it would have been 2 and 2, so it wouldn't have been all different. If all 4 of y'all, like you said, if there was 4 different last names, that's
even like
I
you
might have struggled. But now,
I mean,
I didn't think twice about that. I mean, people divorce and they remarry and they have other children, and so I never thought about, oh my God, 2 of them have this name and 2 of them have that name. Oh my God, people are going to look at me and I should live in the hall of shame. I didn't think about it like that. So it is what it is.
You were married. You were married.
But see, I know that, and I say this because my ex-husband's situation was like that, where his mom had 3 kids and 3 baby daddies, and they were all in school. And I remember that being like, that was a thing in high school because we met in high school. I remember people clowning him like, oh, all y'all got different last names. Your mom's was in the street. Like, I remember that being a level where he was like about to fight people because they was clowning. So for me, that stuck with me becoming an adult, seeing somebody that I loved and cared about being roasted a day because it was like 3 different last names and all y'all.
What y'all got going on? Because I don't remember that. We like.
He said, "What y'all got going on?"
Because people joking, people like I don't remember like being in school thinking of people joking, people like that's just something that never came to my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like on my dad's side is 6 of us, and everybody got different last names. To me, it was just that's family. That's my brother. That's my sister. It is what it is. I wasn't diving deep into last names and who look crazy, because here's the flip side. I know people that's been married and they got 7, 8 kids, and people be like, damn, they still gonna say something and judge in some type of way. I just don't look at it like that.
Okay, so Josh, are you telling me that you don't view a woman that has 4 different baby daddies? Do you put her on the same page as a man that has 4 different baby daddies? I know this is getting way off topic, but go on ahead. Do you think that it's weighed the same in the dating game? If I'm Shanae and I'm going on a date and somebody says, "Oh, how many kids do you have?" 3. How many baby daddies you have? 3. He gonna be looking at you like your pussy must be far. Because everybody
they probably is, but on the flip side, I don't judge. And I'm not gonna look at but
in general, you know people.
I'm having these conversations, and realistically, like, especially, and it's funny, when you're in your 20s, you might think of some little bullshit like that. But when you get 30, 35, especially when you rounding out to 40, I don't know too many people that's thinking of no shit like that. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because the other day when I was talking about something in the conversation, you know what I'm saying? My homeboy made a comment that brought up, he was like, shit, most of these women out here going harder than the men anyway, even stemming back from way back when. It's a lot of men out here that got kids that they taking care of that they not the father of. So this thing, like, I'm not really, there ain't no judgment here. I don't know anybody that's speaking on it. I don't think, you know what I'm saying, somebody gonna look at a woman because she got 3, 4 baby daddies, because guess what? If she's but listen, if she's carrying herself, like if you're carrying yourself like how you're carrying yourself right now, who the fuck cares? Like, real talk. Because when you think about it, right, the stereotype is the 3 to 4 baby daddies means she in the hood, you know what I'm saying, Section 8, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. That's how they look at those type of women. But you see a motherfucker that's handling her business, it is what it is.
Right.
See, but we just had Afion on, and he was like, I'm not talking to nobody with no 3 baby daddies. And he's 47. So there are men that process it and it diminishes almost your value. Like, you could have kids, but it can't be, I'm not dealing with 3 dudes in your life. I'm not dealing with, you know what I'm saying? It does bring on a certain stereotype.
I get it. I get it. But on the flip side, even with Avion, and bless him, King, but I know for me, for example, being on the other side of that, I wouldn't want nobody to judge me being on the hot seat like that, because it can go both ways. And just like there are some women out here that might look at a man like, you ain't got no kids. You ain't never been married? Like, no, I'm straight. Like, you must got some shit going on.
For
These
sure.
judgments can go any type of way you want them to go.
Absolutely.
So it's nothing wrong with anybody having a preference or their standard, but I'm not going to be the one to judge because some of this shit is not a preference and a standard. Some of this shit is judgment. And you can be fucking missing out on your biggest blessing because, I'm good, right? That's the same shit like Chili, right? For example, for a long time, I don't know if she got somebody now, but for a long time, she was just, it was stank face to everybody. And it's like, boo, you still look good, but goddamn, you approaching that mark. You still out here solo dolo talking about you waiting for that right man. All right, keep playing.
That's good.
Keep playing.
Keep waiting. Wait for the right one. This is
keep playing. That blessing probably just walk right on by you. Because you talking about he ain't got a 12-pack. All right.
Not a 12-pack. I take a solid 2 and a biscuit.
No, you're right about that, boy. All of us got our standards and our stuff, but I feel about that is that if a guy comes into your life and he don't want to be with you because you got 3 baby daddies and your past is your past, then he ain't the one, no way. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
If he was, he would accept you.
When we break down the word, right, and we talk about what love actually is and all of that, man, it ain't what people out here doing. I'm telling you that right now. Everybody should have standards. That is not what I'm saying. If you have your preference, I respect that. But a lot of this shit is disguised in judgment. Period. A lot of these people think that they got these standards and they woke and they so mature. And you know what? I'm going to be single and I'm going to wait. Blah, blah. I bet. You go ahead. Motherfucking blessing right there. A good, solid man right there who ready to sweep you off your feet. He praying for you. He coming home at night. He ain't getting in no trouble. He works hard. He's trying. He's a good brother. And you going to fuck it off because why? Same thing for us men. It might be a woman out there, she might have 2 baby daddies. Cool. It takes a village. Shit. We better figure this thing out. It's some really good women out here who have gone through some things. You know what I'm saying? That's not for me to judge. Like, it's some good women out here. It's some really good women out here. But we would never know that because if she don't look like the Instagram model, or if, she ain't doing this, or she don't have enough followers or whatever, I don't know. Because me and the groupies too, we do the same goofy shit too. We do the same shit too. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that's getting us in trouble. We want the baddest chick out there, but it might be a nice little 6.5, 7 that's loyal, that's going to hold you down, make sure the meal is hot, you feel me? And she going to help double, triple your wallet, you feel me? She praying for you, going to help you take care of you, whatever. Like, nah, bro, we got to fix this.
Do you talk to your male friends about that stuff, Josh? Try to make them think that through.
I have, because for example, right? I'm let's take this one, like Black Love, right? I got a buddy of mine. He's just like, I ain't dating nothing outside. And I mess with him, and I'm like, bro, you can have your preference. I said, but what if the Most High just taps you and sends you something else that ain't what you've been swearing up and down on for your whole life? What you gonna do? Oh, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to let her walk then.
You trying to encourage him to date a white woman?
No, I just said outside.
That was coming. I was like,
right.
God, stop. I was over here like, ooh.
I just said date outside.
Your first day on the show, you got to stop.
It ain't, listen, it's some biracials out here. It might be an Indian little shorty that's out here cold with it. You know what I'm saying? It could be whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, got you.
So on that note, thank you guys for tuning in.
But you know what funny? Y'all sit up here, y'all talk that shit, but then it's like the same women who fighting and want that, then they be like, these niggas ain't shit. Quoted by somebody who runs the show when they said these niggas ain't shit. I ain't gonna say
no
that.
niggas ain't shit now.
Oh,
I said some variation of it. I said niggas be on bullshit. That's what I said. I said they be on some bullshit. I can play it back.
Josh, there are some horrible game playing dudes out here that we've endured. Now, I've said that, but I've also met some decent guys as well.
You see how long you struggled? Did you see how you looked down to the corner, your mouth started salivating because you thought you was about to start lying, and then you looked back up and said, decent. Damn. Come on now, keep the main thing. These dudes out here got people playing chess all day long. You moving pawns and shit, and y'all don't even know the game. I'm moving it triangularly and back, and I'm not supposed to move that piece.
Trying to figure out code words and what all these calls in the morning mean, and then what the silence mean, and the saying this and doing that. It's enough to stress a girl out.
And that's my mom who's grown. So you talking about two totally different generations of dating different generations of men. And if she's 57 and still dealing with the same stuff that I'm dealing with, and I'm talking to my 22-year-old that's dealing with something, you like, maybe it ain't us. If it's the generational thing being passed down from person to person. And then, so for when Black women, and I see them dating white men, when you're talking about Serena or Cassie or Halle Berry or whoever, I'm like, go ahead, girl. Get you one. You win it. Straight up. Put that.
I guess that goes into what Josh was saying. I mean, you got to go where the love is. Instead of where the money resides, you got to go where the love resides.
I don't know, Mama, because some of that is where the money resides.
Some of it's both.
Dude, Serena got more than her dude. She was going for the love. She was tired of dating Black men. She went for the love. It's the love.
And she tried her fair share of Black men, and some of them just at their core, they're just not good people.
Same thing with Halle Berry. She went through Wesley Snipes and Eric Benet, and then Cassie was with Puff, and then they get white men, and life just gets happy. Just happy.
So I ain't gonna say all that, but I got other theories. That's for another show. We got other theories behind that too.
All right.
But regardless, everybody found whatever their blessing looked like, and they went with it. Like, I'm not mad, man. Just do you. Right. But like, let's not make it a judgmental thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm not opposed to people, you know what I'm saying, having their blessings, man. But we can't ignore it because we out here being judgmental. You know what I'm saying? Right. And everything, perception is key. You feel me? How you carry yourself, which is what we talked about at the beginning of this. You know what I'm saying? Whether, you know, our bonnets, our pants or whatever, like, look nice, represent yourself the right way, because that too is what brings the right energy towards you. It brings the right people towards you. It brings the right relationships. At least you're going towards the right direction. And then when it comes to that queen and her comment, I'm not mad, queen. But it's the fact that you said it with your chest as if us men do not matter. That is my issue. That's all I want to say. I'm very open-minded. I'm very understanding. I know shit happens, but regardless, we got to do better and involve and include. And then lastly, don't block your blessing. Don't block your blessing. Especially when we out here comparing ourselves or who got what or who did this and all. Like, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Be a little open-minded. That's all I'm going to say. Just be a little open-minded, queen. That's all.
Hey, I'm open-minded.
All right now. That was
come in my door. Y'all going to see how open-minded I am. But anyways.
Right, man. I saw a white guy in Florida while I was out there this weekend. Woo, Lord. He looked at me and was like, woo, you're beautiful. And I was like, man, you look good too. It was almost on and cracking. And I've never dated anybody white, but he was about to get it.
Ooh. That note. To to wrap up this segment.
I'm over the weight.
It's about keeping your options open, because Lord knows it's getting tighter and tighter in our.
And we tired of the bullshit, man. We tired of the bullshit. We are.
Mama said it.
It's not a black white thing. I get it, Mama.
I agree.
I get it. And I think that's the part people got to understand. You know, is the way it looks and how whatever, man. Just fucking be happy. That's all I'm saying. Just be happy.
Yeah.
If you want to be happy solo, then be happy solo. What'd you say? You had OG Mr. Avion on here at 47? Is he dating?
Yep.
Salute.
He trying to.
What he got him, a young Timber, or he got something that's 40 something?
He's dating people, just dating.
He's just dating.
Yeah, trying to find.
So he's single.
Find love. So, yeah, he's single.
Okay, so yeah.
Everybody trying to find love.
What you trying to say, Josh?
No. He got to say that for next week.
He's looking for the right one.
Everybody's looking for the right one. So that is our time for this week, Josh. Welcome to the team, and thank you for joining us, Mom.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I know you had a hard day at work and then ran in, had to flip a curl in your hair and jump on here. Appreciate it.
Right.
We will see you guys next Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can check out our IG page, what she said. Got everybody's ID on here, so check them out personally. See what they talking about when we're not on. Till next week, take care, be easy.